Hello, sixth graders. Welcome to Big Ideas Math, Section 6.3, Fractions and Decimals on the Number Line activity. Pause while you write Section 6.3 activity in your math notebook. Pause again while you write today's activity objective in your math notebook. Today's objective is understand how to locate and compare positive and negative fractions and decimals on a number line. Today we're going to be starting on page 135 in your Record and Practice Journal. Activity 1, we're going to be locating fractions on a number line. On your timeline for A Day in the Life of an Astronaut from Activity 3 in Section 6.2, include the following events. Represent each using a fraction or a mixed number. I'm going to tell you that we did not do this activity. So we're going to start from scratch with a blank timeline, and we're just going to use the events that are listed in this activity. Our liftoff is at 0 on our number line, and the time for that is noon. Everything to the right of noon is PM, and that's going to be positive because that happens after noon, and everything to the left of noon is going to be AM, and that is negative. So I'm going to number my number line, and you should number yours. -1 on the left and all the way down, and positive numbers on the right. Now our first event is a radio transmission, and that happens at 10:30 a.m. So we need to count backwards from noon, and the hour before noon is 11 o'clock, and 2 hours before noon is 10 o'clock. So halfway between 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock is 10:30. So we're going to make a mark on our number line and label that as -1 and 1/2. And that's event A. So it's -1 and 1/2 because it's halfway between the -1 and the -2. The spacewalk is at 7:30 p.m., so that goes on the positive side, and that's much easier to see. It's halfway between the 7 and the 8, and that is at 7 and 1/2, so it's 7 1/2 hours after liftoff, and that's letter B. Now we come to letter C, the physical exam, which it takes place at 4:45 a.m. So we need to count backwards just like we did for 10:30 a.m. So when we do this, we really have to be careful. So we start at noon. -1 is 11 o'clock. Then we go to -2, which is 10 o'clock. -3 is 9. -4 is 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So -7 is 5 o'clock, and -8 is 4 o'clock. So at 4 o'clock plus 45 minutes, that is when they have their physical exam. So that makes it at -7 and 1/4. So we need to label that. -7 and 1/4 is letter C. And then letter D is at 3:15 a.m. So since we know that -8 is 4 o'clock, then we keep counting and we know that -9 is 3 o'clock. And since we get to, if we think of -9 as 3 o'clock, and then we just go 15 minutes more. That puts us at -8 and 1/4. So let's be sure we label that. -8 and 1/4 is letter D. Now the last two are on the PM side, so they should be pretty easy to count. And that is your assignment for this lesson, is to label letters E and F on the right-hand side. So those are both going to be on the PM side. Your assignment for this lesson is to complete letters E and F of Activity 1 on page 135 of your Record and Practice Journal. Be prepared to share during our next class. Please remember, to earn credit for viewing this flipped lesson, you must complete your exit slip, come to our next class prepared with the journal pages or other work from the flipped lesson completed, and be prepared with any work that was assigned in the flipped lesson completed. Be prepared with any questions you have for the teacher, and always have a good attitude. We'll see you next time in class.